Hello, everybody, welcome back to my channel. Yoga is an emerging art which not only maintains the equilibrium between your mind and brain but also teaches you how to be disciplined. Today, we have a career talk on yoga by yoga master Mr. Marksim Karki, who is the founder of Yogashalaa and also is E-RYT 500 Yoga Alliance teacher with an immense experience of 18 years. I welcome you, sir.
Namaste.
So, shall we proceed?
Yes, with pleasure.
Yeah. So, can anyone make yoga as their career?
Of course, why not? Career is all about the one every individual chooses. So everyone, if their passion is to be as a yoga teacher, they are always welcome to choose a yoga as a complete career, as a full time or also as a part time.
Okay. Now we can move to some of the frequently asked questions by our viewers. So, how and which stream should they choose in order to make yoga as their career after grade 10?
Right. This has quite elaborative explanations. Let me give you from my personal viewpoint and with my limited knowledge, whereas it is really a very big topic. When I share with you my experience after my 10th grade, I was rather than I wanted to know what I wanted to choose, I was very clear I don't wanted to choose. I just don't wanted the biology which I hate very much, and then hence I chose this. I have chosen the computer science group. Whereas after my 12th grade, when I realized that my career or my passion is towards yoga, and I wanted to go in deeper with yoga, there I found myself a very big drawback. The reason I'm explaining this from for students in India or to study in India. If you finish a 10th grade, if you have chosen the biology category, or which means like a +1 first group physics chemistry with biology, there is a very beautiful course which I highly recommend, which is BNYS. I'm not sure how many of you are aware of Bachelor of Naturopathic and Yogic Science. To do this course, you have to take the biology course, which is where I get stuck. This course is actually a doctorate program, which is 4.5 years study plus 1 year of internship. This course is not less than MBBS. Almost 60% of MBBS topic will be covered here. The only difference, the treatment part will be through naturopathic and yoga. So that is where the major difference comes up. By end of the course certifications, you are nothing but a doctor. So the best study of yoga, if you wanted to do yoga as a doctor and you wanted to do yoga as a therapy, this is the topmost course to be chosen. So I suggest first grade physics chemistry with biology. This is to be as a yoga as well as a doctor. Whereas this yoga career can be chosen in any category, irregardless of whatever group you have chosen, whatever profession you are going through, you can add up yoga at any part of the time. The second category, you may choose biology, you may choose computer science, you may choose like physics, commerce, accounts, anything. When you finish up any degree or even without finishing up a degree, you can directly even go for diploma in yoga. And also if you have finished any bachelor's degree, you are eligible to do postgraduate diploma in yoga. There are 6-month course also available, 1 year course also available. In this course, this is nothing but a general yoga study. So you become as a yoga teacher at the end of diploma or even postgraduate diploma. So you don't need to precisely work on which category you wanted to study. You can choose any stream, and at the end of it, you can add up either diploma in yoga or postgraduate diploma in yoga. If you are very much passionate with yoga, but you don't wanted to choose yoga as a therapist and you don't wanted to go for 5.5 years of BNYS, there are colleges offering you BSc yoga and also MSc yoga. So this is another category you can choose up right after your +2, whether you are choosing whichever group you have studied. After your 12th grade, you can choose BSc as well as MSc yoga. MSc, you needed any BSc degree to do MSc, whereas BSc, any group in 12th standard with minimum percentage of 50%, you are good to go for BSc yoga and MS yoga. All these studies, it is available in India at lot of different colleges. Of course, I will explain a little more on what are the best according to my observation. This is one way of approaching yoga as a career. There is another streamline, whereas you can start teaching yoga, you can start learning yoga at any part of the time, which is finish up a 200 hours course, like it will be 1 month or 4 weeks intense, or it could be 3 months or like that. Lot of basic yoga courses are there. When you finish that, you become as a yoga teacher, whereas you can start running classes anywhere. So there is a second category where yoga can be used as a part-time job. So full-time, preferably you can choose degree, BNYS, BSc or MSc, even diploma or PG diploma are also available in colleges as well as some famous institutions. The other category, you can do a lots of teachers training course, 200 hours course, 300 hours course or 500 hours course. At the end of it, you certified as a certified yoga teacher, which you are legally can teach yoga classes anytime. Hope this gives you the broader classification.
I hope this has given you all a glimpse of the beginning of your journey in yoga. Next question, which are the top colleges or universities across the world, and what are the eligibility criterion to apply in those colleges?
That's a good question. You know, usually as a kid, there is a top ranking to choose the colleges for master's degree, for bachelor's degree, world ranking. This college in this particular country tops one, this college in this particular country tops two, like that. Whereas when it comes to the study of yoga, the whole world is marching towards India. So we have to be proud that India is the right destination to learn, study, research, deepen your knowledge in regards of yoga. I personally have not heard about any colleges outside India offering yoga courses intensively for 1 year or 2 years. So what I have been known as is, in India, you have a varieties of colleges offering a different kinds of yoga courses compared with abroad. Even though in abroad you may get a yoga courses, but I doubt the intensity and rich text knowledge will not be available in abroad. It's always better to choose in India. In India, there are two different categories of colleges. One, the generally known, well-known colleges like top-ranked colleges having yoga degree, and there are another set of colleges dedicated to yoga. I highly suggested the second category, where the colleges primarily and dedicated to yoga and yoga studies or alternative medicine, particularly only these streamlines, nothing that they don't have any other streamlines. I hope you understand that. There is another category in regular colleges where you have an engineering, where you have a diploma, where you have all other studies, and yoga is one among them. And there are another categories, there are colleges primarily and specifically only for yoga, which in these colleges, the experience and knowledge of yoga will be very high. Two colleges I highly recommend. Number one in South India, in Bangalore, yes, Vyasa. in yoga curriculum, majority of people are aware of this. Yes, Vyasa University, Swami Vivekananda Yoga Anushanthana Samsthana. I personally did the basic course over there. They have a very beautiful courses and extremely rich in the content. They have a beautiful area, like there is a separate category for research on yoga. They in India all over well known for yoga therapy. They have a separate hospital where they treat patients with yoga. And there are courses and studies. They have a BSc, they have a MSc yoga, they have a diploma, they have a postgraduate diploma. There is a one specific course they have keeping it, postgraduate diploma in yoga for doctors. So they highly recommend whoever the doctors, MBBS, MD, whatever the doctors they are, in order to understand and apply the concept of yoga into the treatment, they have this beautiful course, because the head of institution is Dr. H.R. Nagendra, is a well-known yoga faculty among India. So this particular college in South India, I highly recommend. The reason behind, in this college, if you don't go there, you don't feel like you are going to a regular college. It is like an ashram, and you have a yogic life routine. You have to wake up in the early morning. There is a meditation session, there is a satsang session, then there is a breakfast, then there is a yoga sessions. So your entire day is filled up with yoga routine, rather than you are going to a college at 9 o'clock and coming out home by 4 o'clock. So from morning till evening, you will be just literally living and making your yoga as a routine, which gives you a high amount of excellent experience. The another college, as like SVYasa, what I personally recommend is Morarji Desai National Institute of Yoga, which is in Delhi. You can just Google it out, Morarji Desai National Institute for Yoga. This particular college is also having a lot of different courses, as like SVYasa, and well known for yoga studies. If you notice, the recently announced the International Day of Yoga, that particular yoga protocol was combined, shooted, edited, everything based on the Morarji Desai National Institutions. Apart from that, when I go through, I have seen almost a lot of different states. Even the government colleges have BNYS degrees, and there are another few colleges are offering BSc, MSc, and diploma in yoga becomes very common. But to get the best experience, I highly suggest some colleges dedicated only yoga rather than yoga as a part of the studies. So like SVYasa, like Morarji Desai Institute of Yoga, there is also one more university like Banaras Hindu University, which is well known for Sanskrit study. They also have the degree of yoga studies there. So these two is from my observation. I could highly recommend for degree studies in colleges. Apart from that, when you choose the 200 hours training, teachers training course, there you have a lot of different institutions. I will explain this a little later. Whereas this purely depends on what style you are practicing, what experience you wanted to go deeper. Depending on that, you just need to choose the school in order to study further.
I hope this information you have noted down. And sir, what are the placement opportunities in yoga after being qualified, and also what positions can one hold other than being a yoga instructor?
That's a very good question. As I already discussed from the beginning, if you just wanted to teach yoga as a yoga teacher, you can simply finish a 200 hours training course and start teaching, gain experience, and gradually develop your career as a yoga teacher, or also known as a yoga instructor. Whereas to do this, there is no need to focus on any particular or deepening the studies. It is more about how you practice, what is your understanding, and your teaching ability. When you finish a 200 hours course, eventually you are certified as a yoga teacher to start your career. The career opportunities when you finish as a 200 hours course is all the health clubs, fitness centers, gyms, now exclusive yoga studios looking for this. So basically, if you wanted to teach people yoga for general health purpose, this particular certification is good enough. The limitations in this, you are not legally allowed to go for a treatment. You cannot claim yourself as a yoga therapist, because whatever the certification, when you do the teacher training course, they will be very clear that it is for leading a yoga classes, not typically for treatment based. So I hope this is clear. If you wanted to be as a simple yoga teacher, finish one 200 hours course or finish diploma in yoga or PG diploma in yoga or even MSc in yoga, and you can start teaching classes. Whereas nowadays I think the number of yoga institutes are growing up more. Being as a personal yoga teacher and personal trainer, you get placed or you get clients from different walks of life. As now yoga becomes much more popular health routine than any other fitness routine. If you wanted to be a yoga therapist, you wanted to acclaim yourself, you wanted to treat patients through yoga, there are particular streams. As I mentioned, there are courses specifically designed for yoga therapy. I have done my yoga therapy in Nasik, which is the eligibility to do the course is you have to finish a teacher training course. So when you do a 200 hours teacher training course, there are some yoga institutes offering diploma in yoga therapy or teacher training course in yoga therapy. As I mentioned, SVYasa is a beautiful place to study and to gain experience as a yoga therapist. The reason, the course is I think almost 6 months. In that 6 months, you learn the study and you have opportunity to apply through the patients, as they have a huge amount of the medical facilities where people are constantly coming in and getting treated. So the experience and knowledge as 6 months is so good rather than you finish a course only in 1 month. So in that category, when you are finishing the basic certification, when you look out for being as a yoga therapy courses, you will come to know different colleges. So my suggestion, SVYasa again. And one more thing is called Yoga Point, yogapoint.com in Nasik. They offer a yoga therapy course for 1 month, which is the eligibility is you need to finish a 200 hours course. After that, you become as a certified teacher to go for therapy. So as a yoga therapist, what was your opportunities are easily you are appointed in any therapy centers, especially any alternative medicine center like naturopathy, like homeopathy, or like a natural healing. Mainly naturopathic has a beautiful opportunities for yoga teachers. So you become as a yoga therapist to treat patients. So your scope will be a little broader and little specific to teach clients. Being in Oman, very recently I'm able to hear that there is a yoga teacher opening in a national cancer care center, which is a very good initiative. I haven't experienced that. It's very happy to know that the government is looking for a yoga teacher for a cancer patients by themselves. So the scope is eventually going to build up, especially in the form of yoga therapist. So this is again, it has a particular limitations. Even though you as a yoga therapist, it is limited to particular limit, because we are not a doctors, and hence the treatment will be limited to certain particular category. Whereas when you finish the BNYS, Bachelor of Naturopathy and Yogic Science, the scope is way beyond. You are a doctor, a complete professionally qualified doctor, and you know the methods of incorporating yoga and naturopathy as alternative medicines for treatment. So when you finish this, you are able to open up a naturopathy clinic or yoga studios primarily targeting or focusing on yoga therapy. You are allowed to welcome the what do you call patients anywhere, and you are legally you become a doctor and work on this. So this is the complete broader bigger category, BNYS doctor. Other than that, the other scope, rather than if you don't want to run your own clinic, the other options are the BNYS is not so famous and hence the doctors are very limited. So the courses running throughout India, being as a professor, there is a huge opportunity. Whatever the degrees, BSc or MSc you have done, and whatever this BNYS you have done, there is a high chances of being as a yoga professor in a lot of top-notch colleges, eventually in near future, as the amount of professors in yoga are way little than before. There are a lot of yoga teachers, but there are very few yoga professors in the colleges. So in that ways, there is a very huge scope to be as a doctor, to be as a professor in a lot of different colleges, and also you can open up a clinic primarily for your own self when you finish the BNYS. When you finish a yoga therapy, you can be part of any different yoga therapy institutes as a yoga therapist. And when it comes to the other way, as a yoga teacher, as a certified yoga teacher, you can just teach anywhere as a personal clients, or you can tie up with the studios, or you can open up a yoga center separately and run the classes, just like what I'm doing in that way.
Well, that sounds very interesting and rather very informative. Last question for the day. Does yoga have any scope in the coming 20 years for my dear budding yoga qualifiers to make it as their career?
From my experience, I started my yoga studies 2003. Right after my 12th, I didn't choose any particular category but dive deep into yoga. At that time, I don't have the opportunity to study yoga as like what we are doing now. At that time, there was no BSc, there was no MSc, there is not much BNYS colleges as like what we do have now. And also there is not, yoga is not as popular as it. I have finished my higher secondary. In my school, I was one among the top second. And when I say that I'm going to be as a yoga teacher, everyone was surprised and cursed me. Why are you going this instead of choosing this doctorate or engineering? Of course, I cannot do the doctorate as well. Why are you not choosing the engineering rather than doing yoga? Whereas I found myself the passion into it, so I dive deeply into it. Within 10 years, 2003 to 2013 itself, I find a huge shift. Gradually, the importance of yoga, people's awareness about yoga is shifted much way before 2003 and 2013. And 2013 and 2021, there is much more. There is 200% awareness shift is there. Basically, the awareness goes bigger, the scope and opportunities goes bigger, and nevertheless, at the moment, yoga is the word. I hardly doubt nobody don't know what yoga is. So the awareness is broad enough in such a way, everybody very well aware of what it is, what it does to us, and what is the scope. As a scope wise, not only 20 years, another even like 40 to 50 years, and furthermore, it will be a very big growing science, growing subject rather than anything else. As the healthcare, one among the healthcare system, it is always have value no matter what it happens. Unlike IT, unlike any other profession, the health is always at the first point, and as long as it is there, yoga can be evolved from longer perspective. As we know that this yoga has been there for many ages, the awareness at the moment is way bigger and higher than even 20 years back. So from now, if you look 20 years after, it will be doubling up awareness and it will never be goes down. So scope wise, it will be bigger. I also surprised, like in a Gulf country, like in Dubai, if you notice the number of yoga teachers, the number of yoga studios, the organizations is way bigger than anywhere else in the Gulf. So if a Middle East country is open enough to get the yoga, which is not the same scenario 10 years before. 10 years before, opening up one studio in Dubai is the big dream. Now every corner you are able to see the yoga studios. After 10 years, every home there might be one yoga teacher. So it will be a much bigger scope than anything else.
Well, that was a very wonderful talk. Thank you so much, sir, for your precious time and guiding all the rising yoga aspirants.
It's my pleasure, and thank you so much, Stuthi, for taking this initiative and given me the opportunity to share what I know, what I learned, and then very happy to have you among us. Thank you so much.
Make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you guys like my video, and don't forget to tap the bell icon to get notified and updated every now and then.